Okay, now that we've got that first shade down, or that first value down, we're going to go a little darker because you see how dark it is on here. We need to go darker there. So what I'm going to do is holding my pencil the same way. I want to make sure, it doesn't have to be sharp. And this is actually the 3B, so I use the softest one in there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in, and as I'm always doing this, I'm always looking as I'm doing this. So I've got areas. I can come in here and just using the side of the pencil. And you can kind of see I'm starting to get a little darker value there, right? So we're going to go in here, and I got some of my lines I can go to. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want you to be able to experience this because this is what us professionals go through. We've got some, and your lines actually kind of give you an idea of where you want these values to be. And again, it's not going to be perfect. So you're going to come in here and you're going to look, you're going to kind of look, hang on, you're going to kind of look at these areas where you're working. So like I've got this right here, got that right here, it goes out, I'm going to come in here, and I got to come here a little bit, and it's got basically this area, I've got this area here, so it's a little bit shy of it, so I'm going to be looking at the same time. Now, geez, again, you can't see my head. Okay, when you look at me, what you're seeing is me moving my head at the same time. I'm always looking here more than I'm looking here because the information is here, it's not here. So as you see my head, I'm basically, and there's going to be certain things like you can see I'm not so worried about out here yet because I already know that's dark. I'm not going to waste my energy with it. But as you see what's happening here, I'm using different textures, different values. I can come here and fill that in. That's pretty dark out here. So I'm just going to kind of go around where my lines are, where I've drawn this in. And you can kind of see that area kind of appear. Now if I want to really make it dark to kind of find out, I can come in here. I've got to watch these little areas. I've got some areas where the values are a little, and again I'm still using, oh yeah, you have to forgive me. And again, I am not using my pencil like this. And there's specific reasons why. One, it always makes you do detail. When you do the second value, you're trying to keep it consistent. You can go a little darker in some areas, especially if you know they're going to be dark. But if you notice where I'm looking, I'm always looking here. I'm not trying to and his hair was really wild, so it wasn't like and notice my easel, I'm working on an easel too, so the easel isn't flat, the easel is straight up. It gives me a little more ability to see. Now notice I'm not even working on the eyes. I put that one shade in there, but all this stuff is dark out here, so I can come out here and just, it doesn't have to be, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but this is going to give you an idea how to work with values, how to work in black and white. If we ever get to the point where we're painting, it's the same process. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind is that your pencil, using this pencil, it will get dull. So make sure you sharpen. So always keep a sharp pencil. So it teaches you to, if I do this, it's gonna make a mark. I don't want that. And you can see no matter what I do, that mark kind of stays there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shade, just like I am, from the back of the pencil. I want to be able to see my work, and I want to be able to go in. So it's not really brain surgery. I mean, it's not really hard, guys. And we'll be talking about blending stumps here pretty quick. But this gives you an idea when you're doing this, you know, that anybody can actually do this. Okay, like this whole cheek is kind of dark, so it has a really dark value here. He comes up kind of like this. And notice that I can keep these values pretty clean. And one thing you want to keep in mind is anytime there's a light hitting here, it's going to be really dark to that edge and it's going to kind of fade out. But here it's really close to the nose. So all this area right here is, you know, pretty dark. So what are you seeing happening is actually coming into being. It's not like, it's a pretty cool little process. And anybody can do this. I mean, and people have made lots of money off this. This is also another way, on the next one, we're going to use a different medium or a different type of marking tool, which will be a ballpoint pen. And we're going to do squiggly lines with that so I can show you how that's done. But this is just, like I said, this is the second value. Let me see here. We got, I'm going to kind of come here. I'm going to kind of come down because that darkens. And I want to kind of look at the same time because what I'm looking at this lighter value here versus under his lip. And if you come into class to do one of these, you'll see what I mean because I'll have you do it. And this here, I'll use the side of my pencil to do that. And of course I don't have my glasses on. Here they are. So this helps me see a little bit. And, you know, I'm just kind of like, and we got a lighter value here, but it goes really dark toward the side of his cheek. And we got a lighter value out here. So it's not like, we want to be able to represent this shade here a little bit. So you can kind of see that going there. And there's a glint in his eye. A glint is basically a light reflection. And he has it in both eyes. Now, you can use your, you got your erasers there. You can use those erasers. And that'll help. And I don't care what way you go, if you go this way or you go this way. You know, all I want you to do is kind of, if it's really dark, put it in dark. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at these values as toward, you know, the values here, how close are they there? So we do know his shirt. See, I didn't get that down. So I'm going to put that in. I'm going to go really dark here because that is dark. Nice chin. I'm going to kind of make it light. Now notice how I'm still using my pen, my pencil. I'm not trying to use this like I'm writing his name. This is a shading and drawing process we're doing here. Okay, so now we got a darker value. We have this value here, which is about the same value. It's about the same darkness. It lightens up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out to this side here. And I'm going to have to put him in here. And I want to be able to see the chin. So I want to drag that up. I've got this here. That's actually his other part of his jacket, so we'll come here. And then we can spend some time out here. And this is just like the second value. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to match values. Now your values are something when we do the pencil work to our value scales. I'll show you how that applies here and what you're going to do with that when you're trying to make this work. Now notice I spent a long time out here, but I got a whole eye to do, don't I? So I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm not going to worry so much about that reflection in his eye. Now I also want you to keep an eye on where am I looking. 90% of the time I'm always just looking. I'm not looking anywhere more than here. So what do you guys seen happen? Oh, there comes Einstein. Okay. So this is not the hardest thing you guys will do, I guarantee you. This is actually pretty easy. As you can see, I'm not making it look too hard, no too difficult. You know, just that's what if you're thinking it's going to be difficult, well, that's going to be your first mistake, because it's just basically you're trying something new and you're not going to allow yourself to fail. So, you know, it's just like when I step back from him, which I will here in a second, but I also want to drop in some darker values here on his chin. So we're going to come here on his nose. I can change the dynamics, how light and dark, by just how dark I go with the darkest values, and then keep working those dark areas. But I'll see little changes here. So if I'm doing this, I'm taking a look at it, and I'm going to step back and take a look. I mean, the pencil's only going to go so dark. So that's what you want to keep in mind. It's only going to go so dark. And I don't want you using the blending stump yet, and some of you might know what it is, but in this case here, I just want you to use the pencil. Do it. Now that didn't take us very long. That took us about 11 minutes. So it's not a hard thing to do. So watch the first video, and that'll get you through there. Oh, now if you looked at pencils, why does the lead break? Okay, if you looked at pencils, you know why that happens. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop now. I'm going to sharpen my pencil and be ready to go. And he's looking pretty good in comparison. I mean, I like what I'm seeing. So guys, take a look, have fun, enjoy. Anyway, Kevin out. Or Mr. Bowers out. Welcome to Art 101.